Welcome to my presentation. In this presentation, we shall see how to multiply integers. So let me explain the rules of multiplying integers. The rule of multiplication of integers is as follows. Let's write down some rules here. The rules are as follows. If we have a positive number and if that number is multiplied by another positive number, the result is always going to be a positive number. If we have a positive number and if we wait to multiply by a negative number, the result is always going to be a negative number. If we have a negative number and if we wait to multiply by a positive number, the result is always going to be a negative number. If we have a negative number multiplied to another negative number, the result is always going to be a positive number. So therefore the rule is telling us that if we wait to multiply like terms, the result is always going to be a positive number. If we wait to multiply unlike terms or unlike numbers, the result is always going to be equal to a negative number. So that is the rule. We will use this rule to see how we can multiply integers. So let us take an example here. Let's take a simple example. We want to multiply these two numbers, negative 9 times positive 12. When we do not have a sign in front of a number, it implies it is a positive number. So that is the example we have, and therefore we're going to break it down into these different steps. Step number 1, multiply the signs. Negative times positive is equal to a negative. Step number 2, so we multiply the numbers. 9 times 12 is going to be equal to 108. And then step number 3, put everything together. We put the sign and then put the numbers together, and therefore negative 9 times positive 12 is going to be equal to negative 108, and that is our answer. That's where we want to leave it. We can also write it this way. We could have written it out as negative 9 times positive 12. We recall the rule of signs. Negative times positive is a negative. 9 times 12 is 108, and therefore that is our answer. Let's take another example. Let's say this time we want to multiply two numbers like this. Multiply negative 5 times negative 10. Here again, we'll break it down into these different steps. First, we will say multiply the signs. Negative times negative is a positive, and step number 2, we're going to recall our times table. 5 times 10 is equal to 50, and step number 3, we'll combine this step 1 and 2 together. Negative 5 times negative 10 is going to be equal to positive 50, and that is our answer. So we have used the sign and we have used our times table to be able to simplify these problems. Let's look at another example. This time, let's say we have multiple numbers to multiply, several numbers to multiply. Let's say we want to multiply these numbers. 3 times negative 4 times negative 6 times negative 8. So that is what we have. Now we will take two numbers at a time, and then we will try to simplify as we go. So this is what we have. 3 times negative 4, we'll write it down one more time. Negative 6 times negative 8. We'll take two numbers at a time. Positive 3 times negative 4 is equal to, that is equal to negative 12. Then we'll multiply to the next number, which is negative 6. So negative 12 times negative 6, negative times negative is a positive. 12 times 6 is 72. We have one more number to multiply, which is negative 8. So therefore we'll multiply these two numbers, positive times negative. Positive 72 times negative 78, or first we'll simplify the signs. Positive times negative is equal to a negative sign. 72 times 8, we'll take 72 and multiply by 8, like that. 8 times 2 is 16. We'll carry the 1 and then write 6 there. Then 7 times 8 is 56, plus 1 is 57. So 576, negative 576 is the result of multiplying 3 times negative 4 times negative 6 times negative 8. So that's where we want to leave it. So if we have two numbers or if we have several numbers, doesn't matter. As long as we follow the sign rule, as long as we use our times table correctly, we should be able to arrive at the correct answer in a logical manner. In my next presentation, we shall see how to multiply some more integers.